The voice of Mayor's security detail, tense, formal, and utterly panicked. Cut to the patrol car radio. That vehicle is the incident commander's mobile unit. He was responding to a level 4 federal security breach. You just obstructed a national operation. Officer Derek Sloan's breath hitched. The sound of sick, instant terror audible. The harsh, scraping sound of his handcuff, key being dropped and kicked under the car, echoed in the New York tunnel. A high-pitched, insistent alarm. The sound of the fire chief's tactical GPS going offline. Blared from the dashboard. This was a catastrophic climax of his mistake. The sound of his petty legal authority shattering under the weight of an emergency he dangerously failed to comprehend. It was a peak of the rush hour, and a dense, humid New York City tunnel was already choked with traffic. Battalion Chief Elias Thorne, a man of dark complexion in his early 40s and the chief of operations for the NYFD, was driving his unmarked, specialized vehicle. He was speeding slightly above the limit because he was en route to the site of a reported gas leak near a federal building, a potentially catastrophic incident. The inevitable happened. The piercing shriek of a police siren and flashing lights filled the tunnel behind him. Officer Derek Sloan, looking overly aggressive, pulled up rapidly. Pull over immediately. You were clocked doing 20 over the limit. I see no official lights or sirens. Driving like that is reckless endangerment. License and registration now. The confrontational opening was immediate. The injustice was blatant. Chief Thorne was a victim silently hurt by the hostile assumption of criminality and recklessness. Chief Thorne slowly lowered his window. Officer, I am Battalion Chief Thorne. I am responding to an active level 4 incident. My vehicle is an authorized emergency responder unit, as indicated by the plate and the identification on the dash. I need to be cleared immediately. The ominous hint of future reversal lingered. The chief's focus was on the time, a silent assertion that the true danger lay in Sloan's delay. Officer Sloan, seeing the man of dark complexion in a very high-end SUV and hearing the vague claim of emergency, dismissed the fire chief's authority entirely. Battalion Chief? Yeah, right. I don't see any uniform, and I don't see any lights flashing. Sloan sneered, snatching the chief's license. Looks like you're trying to use a city plate to drive like a maniac. You're lying to a police officer, which is a crime. Get out of the vehicle. Now! The discrimination was overt. Chief Thorne slowly lowered his window. Officer, I am Battalion Chief Thorne. I am responding to an active level 4 incident. My vehicle is an authorized emergency responder unit, as indicated by the plate and the identification on the dash. I need to be cleared immediately. The ominous hint of future reversal lingered. The chief's focus was on the time, a silent assertion that the true danger lay in Sloan's delay. Officer Sloan, seeing the man of dark complexion in a very high-end SUV and hearing the vague claim of emergency, dismissed the fire chief's authority entirely. Battalion Chief? Yeah, right. I don't see any uniform, and I don't see any lights flashing. Sloan sneered, snatching the chief's license. Looks like you're trying to use a city plate to drive like a maniac. You're lying to a police officer, which is a crime. Get out of the vehicle. Now! The discrimination was overt. Chief Thorne suffered emotionally, feeling the humiliation of being detained for doing his job, potentially costing lives through delay. Officer Sloan, Chief Thorne said, his voice tightening with professional alarm. I am telling you, this is a time-critical response. Delaying me carries a federal obstruction fine that I assure you, you cannot afford. Call my dispatch now. Code Delta 4. Sloan laughed. Federal fine? I'll worry about my fine when you worry about yours. You're going to be fined for speeding, reckless driving, and now threatening a police officer. He grabbed the chief's arm and pulled him out roughly. Silent strength added. Even as Sloan pulled him out, Chief Thorne did not resist. Instead, he maintained perfect composure and deliberately placed his left hand on the small, official NYFD Ensign Commander badge clipped inside his coat pocket. This small, non-verbal act of dignity was his quiet promise that he would endure the abuse but use his authority to enforce institutional consequence. The tension surged as Officer Sloan, ignoring the chief's warning, began the pat-down. Concealing property and obstruction, Sloan announced, pulling out his cuffs. A low-status relative intervened. A taxi driver, who recognized the chief's vehicle, shouted from a few lanes over, "Hey, officer, that's the fire chief. Let him go. There's a spill down the road." Sloan pointed a furious finger at the driver. "Stay in your vehicle. or you're getting a massive fine for distracting an officer. The taxi driver reluctantly retreated, silencing the low-status intervention. Sloan was triumphant. He snapped the cuffs onto Chief Thorne tightly. "You're under arrest for reckless driving and impersonating a public servant." He reached into the chief's back pocket, pulling out the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, tactical clearance card. Sloan scoffed, tossing it onto the patrol car dash. "Fake ID. You're desperate." He pushed Chief Thorne toward the patrol car. However, a high-status character was watching. Deputy Fire Commissioner Alice Green was monitoring the Code Delta 4 alert. The incident commander's vehicle had stopped near the tunnel entrance and gone offline. She immediately accessed the officer's patrol car frequency. Deputy Fire Commissioner Green started paying attention. The click of the patrol car door locking was a final injustice. Chief Thorne, cuffed in the back seat, felt the intense frustration of the delay. Sloan returned to the driver's seat. "Dispatch! Transporting one male perp, reckless driving, impersonating an officer. Name is Elias Thorne, claims he's a fire chief." Chief Thorne leaned forward. "Officer Sloan, you have one last chance to release me. You are currently accruing a $250,000 federal obstruction fine per minute against your department. If you proceed, I will personally ensure that fine is levied against you." Sloan scoffed one last time, clinging to his arrogance. "Threatening a fine now? That's adorable." He put the car in drive, ready to pull away. The story now hangs at the moment of peak crisis, with the chief cuffed and the car about to drive away, costing the department a fortune. Just before the shocking reveal, we want to take a quick moment to thank you for your support, love, and kindness. We wouldn't have come this far without you. Subscribing is one of the best ways you can help us. It's quick, free, and allows us to continue to bring you great content. Your support means everything. Let's keep this channel growing collectively. Where are you watching from? Drop your city and country in the comments below. Thank you very much. Now, let's get back to the story. Sloan put the car in drive, and the patrol car began to move. Chief Thorne acted instantly. He maneuvered the concealed, high-level NYFD secure comms button hidden on the underside of his Incident Commander badge. Chief Thorne spoke 3 final, urgent words. Incident Command. Release Protocol. The command, Incident Command. Release Protocol was the chief's final, desperate act to save the city, not himself. The command triggered a direct, encrypted alert to the highest levels of the fire department and the mayor's office. Officer Derek Sloan had driven barely 50 feet when the consequences hit. First, the patrol car's police radio, which Officer Sloan had been ignoring, was overridden by a simultaneous broadcast on every emergency channel. The voice was that of Fire Commissioner Green, tight with professional terror and authority. "Unit 6, Charlie 1, stop that vehicle. You have detained Battalion Chief Elias Thorne, Incident Commander for Code Delta 4. You are legally obstructing a federal-level emergency response. Officer Derek Sloan, you are personally liable for the accruing $250,000 per minute federal fine." Officer Sloan slammed on the brakes. The emergency stopped, nearly causing an accident in the tunnel. He stared at the dead radio, utterly paralyzed. The sheer magnitude of the fine, which would destroy his life, combined with the rank of the voice, shattered his arrogance. Simultaneously, the Deputy Fire Commissioner, who had been tracking the alert, arrived in an unmarked NYFD command vehicle. She pulled alongside the patrol car, displaying her official badge and authority. The truth revealed was instantaneous and devastating. Sloan realized he hadn't just detained a speeding driver. He had risked a massive loss of life and incurred a ruinous federal fine by delaying the one person who could mitigate the disaster. The underestimated person was revealed as the life-saving authority who was now also Sloan's financial judge. Sloan's petty authority was nullified by the life and death consequences of his actions. The wrongdoers went silent, realizing the traffic stop was now a massive, personal financial catastrophe. The Deputy Fire Commissioner, a stern, authoritative woman, walked straight to the patrol car. She did not waste a moment with Officer Sloan. She quickly unlocked the door and freed Chief Thorne, handing the secure handset. Chief Thorne, though released, was still focused on the mission. He spoke immediately into the handset. "Incident command, I am clear. Resume tracking," and logged the total obstruction time. To the second, the deliberate, cold logging of the obstruction time was the chief's ultimate act of institutional control. It was a formal initiation of the fine process that would bankrupt Officer Sloan. This was instant karma delivered through the relentless precision of a federal liability code. Officer Sloan tried to apologize, stumbling over his words. "Chief, I didn't see the insignia. Please, I'm just a rookie." Chief Thorne cut him off, not with fury, but with professional exhaustion. He looked at Sloan, and his verdict was absolute. Your failure to verify a public servant's badge has cost the city, and soon you, a massive federal fine. That fine is not for the speeding. Officer, it is for your obstruction of the federal response. The public humiliation was compounded when Fire Commissioner Green arrived, having driven to the tunnel entrance. She walked straight to the chief, ignoring Sloan entirely. Commissioner Green then turned her gaze to Officer Sloan. "Officer Derek Sloan, your reckless incompetence has compromised the federal security level for response. You are immediately relieved of duty. Your department will be footing the initial fine, but your termination and subsequent civil liability will follow. You endangered lives and financial integrity through your prejudice. You are terminated." Sloan stood utterly broken, watching his entire future evaporate, all for a minor speeding infraction driven by prejudice. Chief Thorne retrieved his fire chief insignia from a dash, placing it back on his coat with renewed, solemn purpose. He climbed into his incident command vehicle, his mind already moving past the arrest and onto the emergency. He looked briefly at Officer Sloan, who was being quietly escorted by a senior police officer who had just arrived. Chief Thorne felt a moment of pity, not for the officer's job loss, but for his blinding arrogance. He took a moment to text his wife, a brief, secured message. Safe. Detained but clear. Just a reminder that the job is never easy. This small act of family connection demonstrated the enduring toll of public service harassment. Chief Thorne's dignity was fully restored by resuming his mission, the ultimate validation that his duty was more important than the officer's prejudice. His quick, sharp reaction to log the time was what saved him and his department from having to fight the fine, forcing the liability onto the officer who caused it. Chief Thorne drove out of the tunnel and accelerated toward the emergency scene. His emotional closure came from knowing he had not only averted the potential disaster at the federal building, but also ensured the consequences of the obstruction fell squarely on the person who caused it. Deep reflection. He realized the greatest power a public servant has is not the authority of arrest, but the authority of duty. Officer Sloan confused the two, prioritizing a petty infraction over a life-saving mission. Prejudice is a profound form of professional negligence, and the cost of negligence is always proportional to the importance of the duty neglected. The calm ending was the sound of the chief's specialized vehicle accelerating away, its red and white lights now flashing as he officially entered the high-priority emergency zone. The federal fine was levied, his dignity was intact, and he was back to the business of saving lives. The only reminder of the incident was a small, faint, permanent mark on the pavement where Officer Sloan's discarded handcuffs had struck the ground.